He's changing the tires, the wheels on the wheels on the car. He took it off, he put it in.
From LA to LA on the run like I don't got an estate. I went from LA to the A on the run, you can tell where I stay.
Guys, welcome back to another week's episode. In today's episode, I hope and pray everything goes according to plan, unlike last week. But I have got everything, well, I think and hope that I got everything today. My dad went out to collect a tire for me. That's fitted, so we got all 3 new tires. We still need to get another one. However, that we'll probably do in a few months' time. And I also managed to get the spacers. I ordered some spacers from, is it VW Cafe? I'll show you guys in a moment what we got. However, I didn't actually order extended nuts because I got the 3mm spacers, so I wasn't sure if I actually needed extended nuts. Hopefully that's the case and I don't need it and I can use the one that's actually on the car. But we'll check all of that and the fittings and everything now. This is the other tire that we got. It's also a Potenza, but this is a Potenza Sport. The other one that we got was a Potenza S005, which is slightly more expensive than this one. But I think that's fine because we'll have the front two the same. And then when I get extra cash, we'll buy another Sport. And we'll have the Potenza Sport in the rear and the other two in the front. And then over here we got the spacers. Like I said, I got it from VW Cafe. Got some nice stickers over here, and this is the spacer. So I went with the 3mm because when I initially put the 5mm that I had on from the Mark 1 last week, I felt like it was a little bit too big. Also, at the time I ordered, they actually didn't have any 5mm spacers available. They were all sold out of the 5mm. Hence why I also went with the 3mm, because the next one from the 5mm was the 8mm, and that was probably way too big. So hopefully the 3mm is sufficient. If not, I'm probably gonna have to order a 5mm when they have stock, and then I could probably use the 3mm for the front. But I'm hoping that the 3mm is sufficient and we can make the 3mm work on the rear. I mean, the space that's required isn't that much. You saw when I put it down on load, it was barely touching. So with a 3mm spacer, I'm sure it would clear. But there's only one way to find out, and that's obviously putting it on the car. It's back to stock. Hopefully it won't be at the end of this video. Also, I apologize for any noise that you hear in the background. There is a school across the road, and that's where all the noise is coming from. So I hope it doesn't pick up in the video. But yeah, this is what the car looks like at the moment. One thing I'm a little bit worried about is the fact that, well, not worried about, but I know with Polos it's a common issue that we get in here. If they have slightly bigger wheels like 17s or 18s, bigger wheels, wider tires, it usually affects the hub and it causes it to shift after a while. So I'm really hoping that's not the case with the Audis. Polo Crosses usually come, I think they come out with 17-inch, and we have a lot of them where the hub eventually gives in and needs to be replaced. So I'm really hoping that's not the case with this. That's just one concern that I'm worried about, putting on such big tires. But it is what it is. If it needs to be replaced eventually, we'll just have to replace it and get the car on the lift. Once it's on the lift, we can see if everything fits, and hopefully, fingers crossed again, that all goes well and we can actually drive the car with the wheels on, because I really want these wheels on the car, and it's just been like a holdback every time. But let me stop talking and let me start putting the wheels on. I'm going to be a bit logical or practical about this, so I decided I'm just going to take this wheel off first before I remove the rest. Obviously this is the wheel that was actually the one that had an issue, so I'm going to take this off, put the spacer on, and then see if it clears. Then that side should be fine, and obviously the front is cleared already, so I'm going to do this one first. If this one is good, and then the rest should be good. Okay, so I got the original nut out of the car. I just want to measure basically to see if I'm going to need extended nuts, which I highly doubt, because like I said, it's only 3mm. So I'm just going to come over here and this is the original one, so we've got a lot of leeway over here. If I put this on, I think we have more than enough, because this is the thread over here where the original one goes into, and we still at what we have left to play with. So I think this should work without an extended nut by the looks of it. Don't know if you can actually see or if you can pick it up on the top over here with the thread. So this piece here, I think that's the thread that it only uses for the current wheel that's on, and then this is what we have left to play with. So we're still within that, and I think, yeah, this should be usable without any extended nuts. The right rear on, and guess what, we are still touching very little, but there is still a slight bit of rubbing, but I'm going to put it down. Maybe the load on it would make a difference, but it definitely cleared more than, well, previously, obviously because of the spacer. But if you look over there, over here, slightly touching, and then this is where it was hitting previously. I don't know if you can see, and it looks, I can't get so clearly in there, but you can see it's still slightly touching. But the plan would be now to drop it and see if it makes any difference with the load on, and if it clears that. So yeah, I don't know, let's see once I drop it if it makes any difference. I'll put the other wheel on first. So I have both rear wheels on, drop the car. I'm actually feeling a bit deflated. I haven't checked under yet, but yeah, I'm on the verge of just taking these wheels off, leaving it off, selling it. But I'm gonna have a look now. Hopefully it clears. When it went up, obviously because it was so close, when it went down, sorry, it made a bit of a noise, but that was obviously just the dust cover going past the tire. I'm gonna check now. I'm gonna go under. The car is dropped, and hopefully it actually works. As you can see, I've got that one on, it's tightened, and then I got that one on as well. So I'm just gonna have a look underneath, see if I see anything. So it seems to be cleared. Let's check here. So if you look over here, it's definitely made a difference. So that's the clearance we got there, which is a good thing. Last time this was much closer, and I guess the rattle noise that I was hearing is obviously this touching the wheel, but definitely made a difference. You can see that there's a gap over there. So this is the other side, and clearly there's a nice gap there between the dust cover and the wheel. Not much, but it definitely does clear. So it seems like we clear. I'm feeling a little bit better. I felt a bit defeated. I thought that that was the wrong size and I was gonna have to wait again and order like an 8mm, but seems like we got it to work. That's a relief. Obviously now I just want to put the front on and then drop the car completely, torque it down, and then take it for a drive. That will be the telling tale. If I take it for a drive and I don't hear any noise, then we would be good. Hopefully we seem like we might get it. Let's just take it for a drive and then take it from there.
2,000 years later.
It's a couple of days later. I finally got the car done, down, wheels on. I ended up not filming because I was a bit deflated, so I just stopped recording But then I actually took the car for a drive around the block. There is a slight noise, and it's obviously probably from the rear tire that I need to replace, because it's obviously low and on the wear indicator. So that I was expecting. It's either that or these Bridgestones are slightly noisy, but I'll only find that out once I replace the rear, if the noise is coming from the other tires or the actual tire that needs to be replaced. Other than that, I think I'm happy. I possibly could have gone with a slightly bigger, maybe 5 or 8 mil, because it is still slightly touching on the one end, on the right hand side rear, on the underliner cover. But other than that, everything else clears, no noise apart from the rear tire that needs to be replaced. I actually also ended up fitting this antenna. I just used some gut to line it up. I lined it up from the rear wiper straight across, and then I put it onto the front grille, so that gave me a line. And then I also did the same thing as I did with the rear spoiler, when I just put some masking tape over here and I masked it off over there just to line it up. And then yeah, that gave me basically the center of the car, and it looks like it's center. Well, I hope it is. But yeah, this is what the car looks like. I'm extremely happy with how it turned out. It is extremely high. That's one thing we need to address. You can see over here, looks like a Q3. I'm quite happy with how it turned out. It looks really good. Just it needs to be dropped now. Also the antenna, it gives it a bit more character, it gives it a bit more dimension. It looked very plain, and I can't explain really, but it's given it some dimension on the roof, and I'm happy with how it turned out. We're gonna have to address the rear tire soon, and then obviously the ride height. I actually have photoshopped the picture, so I'll put that picture up here just to see what it looks like with the car dropped. I don't know if I want to go air or coilovers. That is a big debate in the car community, but the way things are going now with this JP Smith and all of that, I don't even know if I'm gonna drop the car or do anything further for the time being. I might end up just leaving it where it is for now. I don't want my disc to be removed, car impounded, none of that. So I don't know if I'm gonna do anything further to the car just until we figure out this whole situation with all the new bylaws. So for now, I think the car is gonna be as is. I would like to drop the car. I'd consider air or coilovers. What do you guys think, air or coilies? But yeah, before we can do that, we have to figure out what the whole situation with this JP Smith and his antiques are gonna end up with. But yeah, I'm happy. Thank you guys for watching. I don't know how things are gonna go. I don't know if I'm gonna post next week due to this whole JP Smith thing, but we'll see how it goes. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys maybe next week. Peace.
Where my friends go, it was simple. When the ends low, switch the tempo.